Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Alinga Siswe of Urban Harvest Organic Farm. For all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I am so grateful, and for those who are still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Today I'm super excited because these birds are now 18 days old from the day they reached here. Up to today, we are now counting 18 days, and have actually been away. I went to town to buy the vaccine for Gomboro because we are supposed to vaccinate them against Gomboro. But you can see I found when all the feeders are empty, the birds are feeding very well. They are picking on the weight well. You can see there is a very good uniformity in the growth. I think simply because there is enough water for them and enough feeds always. So, guys, I'm still giving them turmeric because after the vaccination, remember, we withdrew the turmeric like for a day and then I resumed. So, I'm still giving them turmeric, but tonight I'll not give them water because tomorrow is when we are doing the vaccination for the Gomboro, okay? Then after that, we can again leave them like to stay for 2 days without any herbal remedy. Then we shall introduce another one. So before I start, our topic of today is I'm going to give you the feed intake for these birds from week 5 up to week 10, because when I gave you the feed intake for the week 1 up to week 4, one of you sent me a comment or a message that she badly needed for week 5 and 6. But I remember yesterday we didn't make a video. We were supposed to make it yesterday. So not to leave anyone out, we are going to have the feed calculation for week 5 up to week 10. But before we do that, of course, we can't be discussing when the feeders are empty. Since we want results, I'm still going to put for them the feeds. I'm still giving them pellets. But I'm thinking of something new is cooking, of which I haven't yet decided on that. But if I decide on it, then I will update you. So we are still giving pellets for now. Now, someone asked me that, are these real? What type of layers are these? Because you see the feathers are white. These layers are not white, as like the way you think. The brown feathers have started coming, guys. You can see the brown feathers have started coming, but only that they are not going to be these layers which are deep brown. The others that you can see, other feathers are a bit light. I think they are the ones, most of them are like that, but they are not purely white like one of you asked me. Okay, so these are layers. The ones that the tails were not yet grown, like this one, you can see it is still like that. They're still, you can see their feathers at the tail. They are trying now to come out, and also at the wings, the feathers are still like that. But anyway, I have hope that they are not male birds. So let me first give them the feeds before we discuss the feed calculation of these birds, because it is very important. Last time, one of you asked me that who gave that science behind the feed calculation. I also don't know. The chart was given to me by the company that supplied me, or by the agent that supplied me with the birds. So that is also what I'm going to share with you, and it's what I've been also following. The birds are so active, guys, very active. No any sign of sickness, no any sign of coccidiosis, flu and cough, nothing. So let me first give them the feeds. But otherwise, we are all doing a great job. Okay. So I don't think I'll show you everything. They have started climbing. So let me first finish feeding, and then we shall start from there. Wow. Ooh. So guys, before we start, I wanted to show you something. Another way to know that your chicks are very, very healthy is by seeing their droppings, okay? Now, if you can see on my chair here where I normally sit, see the droppings that is there. This shows that these birds are not suffering from any type of disease. This is how the dropping is supposed to look, you see? So the color of the dropping speaks a lot about the health of your birds. Okay, so that is what I wanted us to see and know for someone who is a beginner out there. So guys, I told you that you are going to look at from week 5, because last time we stopped in week 4. So we are going to look at the feed calculation of our birds from week 5 up to week 10. And one thing you must know is that you have to know how much one bird is supposed to consume in a day. Then you multiply it by the whole number of birds that are there. That is how you're able to come up with the total kilograms of feed that you're supposed to give every day. Now, this is by the way very important for a farmer, because I've realized so many farmers out there do not have this feed calculation or feed intake for these birds. Even for broilers are there, for the improved local birds are there. So now for today I will give you for the layers. Now last time I said we stopped in week 4. And this was very urgent for some of you, really needed badly for week 5 and 6. So now we are going to look at up to week 10. Now from week 5, each baby chick is supposed to consume 36 grams of feed every day. Now you multiply it by the number of birds that you have. And now that we have 682 chicks, so you will multiply that by the number of birds. Then we shall come here and find in kilograms, because it is very easy for us to measure the feeds in kilograms. Most of our weighing scales are in kilograms. So now if you want to multiply it if you want to find this in kilograms, you will divide it by 1000. So you realize that these birds in week 5, the whole of the 7 days of week 5, we are supposed to give them 24 kilograms, 552 kilograms of feed every day. By the way, these ones are also very, very important. You should not ignore it. You can either round it, like the way I rounded it, to 24.6 kilograms of feed every day. Now here I wanted to find out in the whole 1 week how many kilograms of feed these birds will need, because some of you could be having enough money to purchase your feeds at once, and also sometimes you would want to plan in advance. Okay, so that is why I decided to also find in a full 1 week or in a full week of week 5 how many feeds do I need. So I found out that I needed 172.2 kilograms in the whole 7 days. Okay, but the most important here is to know how much a bird is supposed to consume in a day. So in week 5 it is 36 grams of feeds. Now we are going to go to week 6. Okay, I wrote it down. Okay, I was also doing calculation for my birds. Now week 6, every bird is supposed to consume 41 grams of feeds. So if I multiply it by the 682 chicks that we have, we shall find this figure. We want it in kilograms. So at the end, every day in week 6, we are supposed to give 28 kilograms of feeds. So the whole week I need 196 kilograms of feeds. Now if we go to to week 7, you will find that each bird is supposed to consume 43 grams of feeds. So I've multiplied it by the number of birds that I have. I got these figures. I want to find it in kilograms, so I divide it by 1000. It will bring me to this. When I round it off, it will bring me to 29.3 kilograms of feeds every day. So in 7 days, I need 205 kilograms of feeds. When we go to week 8, okay, in week 8, these birds are supposed to consume 49 grams of feeds every day. So I did the multiplication. Want to find it in kilograms. So you find that in a day I'm supposed to give them 33.4 kilograms of feeds in week 8 every day. Now for the 7 days, we shall need 233.8 kilograms of feeds. If we come to week 9, every baby chick is supposed to consume 52 grams of feeds. We multiply it by the number of birds we have. We shall get this. We want it in kilograms. We divide it by 1000. So we shall get this. Then when we round it off, we shall get 35.5 kilograms of feeds. Every day in week 9, we multiply it by 7 days because we want to know in 7 days how many kilograms of feeds do we need. We shall find 248.5 kilograms of feeds. If we come to week 10, in week 10, everybody, because from this week now, by the way, the birds are already mature, if I may say, because they will no longer be called chicks. They will now be called birds, okay, layers. So, week 10, we shall need 60 grams per bird. We multiply it by the number of birds that we have. We get this. Then if we want it in kilograms, we divide it by 1000, which is 40.92 kilograms of feeds in a day. Now, if we want it in 7 days, it is going to be 286.4 kilograms of feeds. I wanted to stop in week 10, but I see that my calculation is up to week 13. So, okay, not to bother you a lot, let us look up to week 13. So, in week 11, these birds need 70 grams of feeds every day. Every bird, okay, each bird is supposed to consume this. So, we are multiplying by the number of birds that we have, of which it will bring us to this figure. We want to find it out in kilograms. We divide it by 1000. So that is 47.74 kilograms of feeds. Now we want it in 7 days. We shall come to 334.2 kilograms of feeds in 7 days. So the whole of week 11, you must have this prepared. Now if we come to week 12, we have added more 5 grams here. So everybody is supposed to consume 75 grams of feeds. So we did the multiplication here. So we found out that in the whole of week 12, these birds are going to consume 358 kilograms of feeds. Now this is our last week 13. We shall each bird is going to consume 80 grams of feeds. This now these birds have started consuming a lot, This is where now you see money is now going a lot. Now week 13, each bird is supposed to consume 80 grams of feed. We multiplied it here. So at the end of it all, every day in week 13 we are supposed to give 54.56 kilograms of feed. And then in 7 days they are going to consume 381.9 or 382 if we round it off, 382 kilograms of feeds. Okay, so I've stopped in week 13. So we are left with week 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now from week 19 till the end, it is now constant 120 grams of feeds. Okay, some birds consume 110, okay, but the most standard is 120 grams of feeds every day, and that you will just multiply it by the number of birds you have. Then you will divide it by 1,000 to get it in kilograms, and then you will know how many kilograms of feeds are we supposed to feed these birds every day. I am giving you this feed intake because it is very, very important with these exotic birds. We must know how much they are supposed to consume. That alone can make your production to be at 40%, 50% if you don't follow the feed calculation of this. But it is really very, very important with these exotic layers, okay? Even with the broilers, for those who rear broilers, you know, when the birds have not been eating at the right feeds or enough feeds, those broilers will never put on weight. So that is why this feed calculation of feed intake is very, very important, okay? Now, tomorrow we are going to do the vaccination for the gomboro, and I told you that tonight I will withdraw the water, so that tomorrow I do the vaccination a bit early, so that time we'll find when it is they are really very, very thirsty. But then the whole of tomorrow I will give plain water, and the next day I will give plain water, and then we shall start from there. So as you can see, the birds, I think it's really doing a great job. Thank you so much for all the comments, for all the enlightenments. The work is going on well. The birds are very active. We are soon starting to reap something out of this. Okay, it's still far because only 18 days. We are up to, from 16 weeks you can start expecting, so we are still in days. We are soon finishing our 3rd week. And then the brooding also, we are soon finishing the brooding. And actually the most important or the most complicated part is the brooding. Guys, we have this bird which is not looking like layers. That one in particular moving. You can see the feathers. One side of it is looking, of the wing is looking like a local bird, like the local chicken. So we are going to wait for it up to 8 weeks also to see. But still, most of our birds still don't have feathers at the tail, of which we all know that for the female bird, feathers at the tail normally come within 4 days, even at the wings. But also another thing that is giving me courage is that with the cocks, they normally grow very, very fast. They would be far bigger than the chicks, but than the hens. But the growth is uniform. Very soon we are going to weigh the birds. Last time I told you that I want us to weigh these birds when they have at least reached 3 weeks. So very soon we are going to weigh the birds. And then about the feeds, I'm yet to make a decision because I have this one friend of mine. She has been doing layers, by the way, for quite long, close to 10 years now. And for her, she uses pellets strictly for 2 weeks. So she was encouraging me that I should use pellets for only 2 weeks. Then I start giving the birds the mash. That's what she does. And actually currently the birds are laying, her birds are laying very well. The birds have started laying very, very well. So I'm yet to decide on that because we all know that these pellets, by the way, are very, very important. A kilogram of pellets is up to 2,900 Ugandan shillings. Some pellets also, for some companies, it goes for 3,000 Ugandan shillings, which is not little money, it's a lot of money. But if you look at mixing those, giving them the mash, you'll find that it cuts the cost like to half of it. So I'm yet to decide on that. But otherwise, the birds are still performing well. I told you we are giving turmeric in the drinking water, but tonight we shall withdraw it since we are doing gomboro vaccination. So for today, that is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for all the encouragement. Thank you so much for all the enlightenment. Guys, please let us keep on giving more tips on poultry farming, and we shall all enjoy this project. See you next time. But if you're still new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, And I'll be so grateful. See you next time. I love you all. Bye bye.